The Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. Read by Sean Ferguson. 1. Ravens. Always the ravens. They settled on the gambles of the church even before the injured became the dead, even before Reich had finished taking fingers from hands and rings from fingers. I leaned back against the gallows-post and nodded to the birds, a dozen of them in a black line, wise-eyed and watching. The town square ran red, blood in the gutters, blood on the flagstones, blood in the fountain. The corpses posed as corpses do, some comical, reaching for the sky with missing fingers, some peaceful, coiled about their wounds. Flies rose above the wounded as they struggled, this way and that, some blind, some sly, all betrayed by their buzzing entourage. Water! Water! It's always water with the dying. Strange, it's killing that gives me a thirst. And that was Mapperton. 200 dead farmers, lying with their scythes and axes. You know, I warned them that we do this for a living. I said to their leader, Bovid Tor. I gave them that chance. I always do. But no. They wanted blood and slaughter. And they got it. War, my friends, is a thing of beauty. Those that say otherwise are losing. If I'd bothered to go over to old Bovid, propped up against the fountain with his guts in his lap, he'd probably take a contrary view. But look where disagreeing got him. Poor shit farm maggots. Reich discarded a handful of fingers over Bovid's open belly. He came to me, holding out his takings as if it was my fault. Look, 1 gold ring. 1. A whole village and 1 fucking gold ring. I'd like to set the bastards up and knock 'em down again. Fucking bug farmers. He would too. He was an evil bastard, and greedy with it. I held his eye. Settle down, Brother Reich. There's more than one kind of gold in Mapperton. I gave him my warning look. His cursing stole the magic from the scene. Besides, I had to be stern with him. Reich was always on the edge after a battle, wanting more. I gave him a look that told him I had more than he could handle. He grumbled, stowed his bloody ring, and thrust his knife back in his belt. Mackin came up then, flung an arm about each of us, clapping gauntlet to shoulder plate. If Mackin had a skill, then smoothing things over was it. Brother Jorg is right, little Reichy. There's treasure aplenty to be found. He was wont to call Reich little Reichy, on account of him being a head taller than any of us and twice as wide. Mackin always told jokes. He'd tell them to those as he killed, if they gave him time. Liked to see them go out with a smile. What treasure? Reich wanted to know, still surly. When you get farmers, what else do you always get, little Reichy? Macon raised his eyebrows, all suggestive. Reich lifted his visor, treating us to his ugly face. Well, brutal, more than ugly. I think the scars improved him. Cows? Malkin pursed his lips. I never liked his lips, too thick and fleshy, but I forgave him for that, for his joking and his deathly work with that flail of his. Well, you can have the cows, little Reichy. Me, I'm gonna find a farmer's daughter, or 3, before the others use them all up. They went off then, Reich doing that laugh of his, as if he was trying to cough a fishbone out. I watched them force the door to Bovid's place opposite the church. Fine house, high-roofed with wooden slates and a little flower garden in front. Bovid followed them with his eyes, but he couldn't turn his head. I looked at the ravens. I watched Gempt and his half-wit brother, Michael, taking heads. Michael with the cart and Gempt with the axe. A thing of beauty, I tell you. At least to look at. I agree, war smells bad, but we'd torch the place soon enough, and the stink would all turn to wood smoke. Cold rings? Best speak your piece quickly, farmer. Brother Gempt's a-comin' with his axe. Chop, chop. Didn't seem too worried. It's hard to worry a man so close to the worm feast. Still, it irked me that he held me so lightly and called me boy. Do you have daughters, farmer? Hiding in the cellar, maybe. Old Reich will sniff 'em out. Bovid looked up, sharp at that. Pained and sharp. How old are you, boy? Again, the boy. Old enough to slit you open like a fat purse, I said, getting angry now. I don't like to get angry. Makes me feel angry. I don't think he even caught that. I don't think he even knew it was me that opened him up not half an hour before. 15 summers, no more. Couldn't be more. His words came slow, from blue lips and a white face. Out by 2, I would have told him, but he'd gone past hearing. The cart creaked up behind me, and Gempt came along with his axe dripping. "Take his head," I told them. "Leave his fat belly for the ravens." 15. I'd hardly be 15 and roasting villages. The time 15 came around, I'd be king. Some people are born to rub you the wrong way. Brother Gempt was born to rub the world the wrong way. 2. Mabberton burned well. All the villages burned well that summer. Mackin called it a hot bastard of a summer, too mean to give out rain. And he wasn't wrong. Dust rose behind us when we rode in, smoke when we rode out. Who'd be a farmer? Mackin liked to ask questions. Who'd be a farmer's daughter? I nodded toward Reich, rolling in his saddle, almost tired enough to fall out, wearing a stupid grin and a bolt of Samite cloth over his breastplate. Where he came to find Samite in Mabberton, I never got to know. Brother Reich does enjoy his simple pleasures, Mackin said. He did. I got a hunger for it, hungry like the fire. The flames fair ate up Mabberton. I put the torch to the thatched inn, and the fire chased us out. Just one more bloody day in the years-long death throes of our broken empire. Mackin wiped at his sweat, smearing himself all over with soot stripes. He had a talent of getting dirty, did Mackin. You weren't above those simple pleasures yourself, Brother Jorg. I couldn't argue there. How old are you? That fat farmer had wanted to know. Old enough to pay a call on his daughters. The fat girl had a lot to say, just like her father. Screeched like a barn owl, hurt my ears with it. I liked the older one better. She was quiet enough. So quiet, you'd give a twist here or there just to check she hadn't died of fright. Though I don't suppose either of them was quiet when the fire reached them. Gempt rode up and spoiled my imaginings. The Baron's men will see the smoke from 10 miles. Shouldn't have burned it. He shook his head, his stupid mane of ginger hair bobbing this way and that. Shouldn't? His idiot brother joined in, calling from the old grey. We let him ride the old grey with the cart hitched up. The grey wouldn't leave the road. That horse was cleverer than Michael. Gempt always wanted to point stuff out. You shouldn't have put them bodies down the well. We'll go thirsty now. You shouldn't have killed that priest. We'll have bad luck now. If you'd gone easy on her, we'd have ransom from Baron Kennick. I just aimed to put my knife through his throat, right then, just to lean out and plant it in his neck. What's that? What say you, Brother Gempt? Bubble, bubble. Shouldn't have stabbed your bugly old Adam's apple. Oh no, I cried all shocked-like. Quick, little Reiki, go piss on Mabberton. Gotta put that fire out. Baron's men will see it, said Gempt, stubborn and red-faced. He went red as a beet if you crossed him. That red face just made me want to kill him even more. I didn't, though. You got responsibilities when you're a leader. You got a responsibility not to kill too many of your men. Nor are you going to lead. The column bunched up around us, the way it always did when something was up. I pulled on Jared's reins, and he stopped with a snicker and a stamp. I watched Gempt and waited. Waited until all 38 of my brothers gathered around, and Gempt got so red, you'd think his ears would bleed. Where are we all going, my brothers? I asked, and I stood in my stirrups so I could look out over their ugly faces. I asked it in my quiet voice, and they all hushed to hear. Where? I asked again. Surely isn't just me that knows. Do I keep secrets from you, my brothers? Reich looked a bit confused at this, furrowing his brow. Fat Burlow came up on my right, on my left, Nubin, with his teeth so white in that soot-black face. Silence. Brother Gempt can tell us. He knows what should be and is. I smiled, though my hand still ached, wanting my dagger in his neck. Where are we going, Brother Gempt? Weneth, on the Horse Coast, he said, all reluctant, not wanting to agree to anything. Well, then good. How are we going to get there? Near 40 of us are on fine, oh-so-stolen horses. Gempt set his jaw. You could see where I was going. How are we going to get there if we want us a slice of the pie while it's still nice and hot? I asked. Lich Road, Wright called out, all pleased that he knew the answer. Lich Road, I repeated, still quiet and smiling. What other way could we go? I looked at the Nubian, holding his dark eyes. I couldn't read him, but I let him read me. Ain't no other way. Reich's on a roll, I thought. He didn't know what game's being played, but he likes his part. Do the Baron's men know where we're going? I asked Fat Burlow. War dogs follow the front, he said. Fat Burlow ain't stupid. So? I looked around them, real slow-like. So, the Baron knows where bandits such as ourselves will be going, and he knows the way we've got to go. I let that sink in, and I just lit a bloody big fire that tells him and his what a bad idea it would be to follow. I stuck Gempt with my knife then. I didn't need to, but I wanted it. He danced pretty enough too, bubble bubble on his blood, and fell off his horse. His red face went pale quick enough. "Michael," I said, "take his head." And he did. Gempt just chose a bad moment. Whatever broke Brother Michael left the outside untouched. It looked as solid and as tough and as sour as the rest of them. Until you asked him a question.